I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Today felt very underwhelming for the Knicks in free agency. I get that we don't have much financial flexibility, but to see all of the guys I wanted just leave on bigger contracts and the Knicks are willing to offer, it definitely sucks. But one thing that I'm still hoping for by the time you guys are seeing this, I mean, maybe it's happened, maybe it hasn't, but it's Jordan Clarkson. To this point, the best possible option for the Knicks is Clarkson because he's got us on the top of his list. He would have to take a pay cut as the Knicks can only offer him about 5 million. Vets minimum seems like a huge stretch considering that Tyus Jones just went for 7 mil. I mean, Clarkson's probably just as good as not better. But the fit is ideal because Clarkson's issue is bad shot selection. There was a game last year at MSG where Mike Green was just absolutely flaming Clarkson. It felt like he was like 2 of 17 in that one. But the skill set is there. 16.2 points per game, 36.2% from three. I think he's an even better shooter than those numbers show. Playing for the Knicks, his game is only going to be elevated because better players around him. And it seems like everyone just is at their best at MSG. I mean, Clarkson wasn't that game. But in general, you seem to be able to make more shots playing in front of this Knicks crowd. It's also a much different atmosphere if you're the home team. If you're on the road, then it's going to be easier with the crowd rallying behind you. My concern about this whole thing is the money. Would Clarkson actually take a pay cut to come here? The second thing is the Knicks don't currently have a head coach. Mike Brown is probably going to end up getting the job. He's the only coach who has had a second interview, at least to my knowledge. Let me know if I'm wrong. Brown is the most experienced of the bunch that interviewed between him and Jenkins and Borrego. So I'm not surprised the Knicks are going to do this. Going from Tibbs to Mike Brown, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It doesn't seem like much of an upgrade, but that's a story for a different time. If it happens, we'll get into it. I'll do like a full breakdown. I like Mike Brown, trust me. But you have to realize that the Knicks need more off of their bench. They need to use their bench, but they also need better players on it. And Jordan Clarkson's 33 years old. He's been playing basketball for a while. Clarkson's been playing basketball for so long. He's in the top 8 all time in terms of bench scoring. Like, think about that for a second, how impressive that is. He's extremely consistent. You take a look at the last couple of games of the season. He had 10 points, 14 points, 14 points, 19 points, 12 points. He's going to give you over 10 a night. And that's exactly what the Knicks are going to need off of their bench. And he also did average, 3.7 assists and 3.2 rebounds. So he's giving you a little bit of everything. He's going to turn over. He's not going to give you much defense. But the Knicks, they just need somebody to come off the bench and put the ball in the hoop. Tyler Kolek is the future playmaker of this team. Deuce McBride is sort of a combo, two-way type of guard. But the Knicks don't have a guard off of their bench that can create at a Jordan Clarkson type of level. Not even close. Cameron Payne can't do that. Landry Shamet can't do that. And the Knicks are going to have a lot of competition of being able to bring back Shamet, for example. I don't personally think he's going to come back. It would be awesome if he did. But if you have a guy like Jordan Clarkson saying that the Knicks are at the top of the list, you got to be able to meet with him and get a deal done. You can offer him the chance to play in New York. He's been in Utah for a while, so it should be enough to convince him alone. But it's also the fact that he's going to get $5 million. He's going to be competing for a championship and playing with Brunson and Bridges and Hart and Anunoby and these guys and Cat. He's going to have a lot of good players around him. But it's also just knowing that he's going to have a big role because the Knicks are going to be using their bench more. They're going to be relying on it and giving them more opportunities. And Clarkson also, he's the type of guy that if there is an injury or something, he could step in, play more minutes, and be ready. So I like Jordan Clarkson a lot. I understand he has flaws, but who really doesn't? I mean, you just look at the Knicks bench right now. Like, who's coming off our bench? You have to immediately look at Deuce and Mitchell Robinson and probably Pacome Dadier, maybe. I mean, so, yeah, this is a huge upgrade. I mean, this is one of the better bench six-man. This is a former six-man of the year candidate, the guy who actually won the award. So I'd love the move. Of course, he had a triple-double, ended the drought for the Jazz. He's a fan favorite. He's one of the most liked Jazz players of all time. So this is a no-brainer to me. The Knicks should get this done ASAP. Hopefully, by the time you guys are watching this, it's been done. Hopefully, he doesn't go somewhere else because then this video is kind of pointless. But that's where we're at with the Knicks is they've been linked to a lot of players, but they're going to other teams. And the reason is that the Knicks just don't have a lot of money. And that's my issue with the current roster is it just seems like it's a lock to have Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Cat, Mitch, and then who did I miss? Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, Mitch Cat. Yeah, it just seems like that's a lock and nothing's really changing. But because of that, the Knicks don't have any flexibility outside of that. And constructing a championship roster, you look at like the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example, they picked up Lonzo Ball. They picked up DeAndre Hunter at the deadline. I get they didn't win anything, don't get me wrong. But their Cavs team just is loaded, but they keep adding in big time pieces. And I wish that the Knicks could be able to do that. But I mean, personally, OG's making way too much money. Cat's making way too much money. Bridges is about to be making way too much money after an extension, unless he takes a pay cut. So I know I'm complaining a lot, but we're talking about winning a championship, and Brunson's like the only guy who took a pay cut. If I'm being like, Brunson took a huge pay cut, and I just wish some other guys could have been able to do that, so the Knicks wouldn't be hanging by a thread on that second apron. And with Clarkson, the Knicks are going to be right there. And then to that point, you're relying on rookies and like second year players to be able to play big minutes. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on Jordan Clarkson. To be honest, it's between him and Russ for me. The thing about Russ is that like Russ honestly is a little bit more enticing because he'd bring a huge fan base in New York and he gives the energy that the team needs. But how do you play Hart, Russ, and Mitchell Robinson off of your bench? That would be impossible. It literally would not work. The Knicks already had issues with spacing and shooting and things like that. So Russ's defense and just hustle and tenacity would be fantastic. But in terms of again winning, competing at a high level, I personally do not see it happening. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree on that. But Jordan Clarkson's the perfect fit because he can shoot, he can create, he's consistent. He's been off coming off the bench for a while now, so that's his role. He's not going to be expecting anything crazy. I would probably play Clarkson anywhere from 18 to 24 minutes a night, somewhere in that type of range, and he'd be able to take a lot of pressure off of the starters. And the Knicks just again, I know I said this earlier, but they haven't had someone off of their bench that can do this. Brandon Jennings, like years ago, if you guys remember, was supposed to be that, but it wasn't. Like Brandon Jennings was not very good with the Knicks. And of course, like they brought in D Rose at one point, and I know that D Rose was a starter, but the Knicks just they haven't had a like Energizer Bunny off of the bench that can put the ball in the hoop consistently. So I'm actually excited about this. And I know it's not the biggest news in the world. There were some crazy things that have happened. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. got like a super max contract, and the Lonzo trade for Okoro was pretty wild, and the Rockets got Clint Capella, and they also got Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, there wasn't like anything like super mind-boggling. LeBron James getting traded would literally break the NBA. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for you guys. You gotta let me know your thoughts on the video and just how you're feeling overall with the current Knicks free agency. It's only been 2 hours and 41 minutes at the time you're recording this, so we're not gonna panic. But I do think that these types of guys like Clarkson and like Tyus Jones, who I know did go to the Magic, but just guys like that can make a huge difference. And yeah, just to see them all going to different teams kind of sucks because at the end of the day, those teams are getting better.